Hello YouTube. Hello guys, how are you? Where's the camera? There's the camera. There it is, just there. I'm live on YouTube. Nobody's here. Well, you know, Saturday afternoon here in Ireland. I've just completed a road trip in the UK, which has been mainly lovely. Catching up with family, taking my boys to see their nan. I was going to get my mum on a live because I know you guys love to see my mum. If you're watching this, mum, hello. But I decided not to, basically because hello Lois. Basically because I had a profound healing. Well, my mum had a profound healing session with Ian Welch yesterday. Oh my God, it was nuts. Hi, El Duke from the southwest of where? Gina Maria, hello. Linda Gold, hello. Debbie Gabor, Emporium PA. You always put that, Debbie. Can you not put anything else? It's always Emporium PA. Dragonfly, love your mum. Yeah, I love my mum. But my mum's been, you know, my mum's like a lot of us. I mean, she's a great example of repressed emotions. She's been through a hell of a lot of shit in her life. You know, we lost my dad in 1986 when my mum was 35 years old. And I just remember her staring into the distance for months. I couldn't get a word out of her for months. And then, she never really got over that. And then she lost her identical twin sister 20 years ago. She was a wonderful woman, Sally, my auntie Sally. She asked me to read, before she died, she asked me to read at her funeral, which was incredible. And I wrote this poem, Goodbye Sally. And I'm very proud of that poem, probably more proud of that poem than anything I've ever written, because I summed her up perfectly, but I also made the church, which was packed, I made everybody piss their pants. And I was very proud of that because Sally had a really naughty sense of humor. But my mum never got over that. And I could see she was in a lot of pain when I was with her this week. Huge amount of pain. She blames it on being old. She'd been to see the doctor, asked for an MRI, and I was like, Mum, why? Why do you keep going back to these murderers in white coats? But she did. And she was in all this terrible pain. I took over the LifeWave patches. I took over the thing that cannot be mentioned, CLO2, and ASEA, which is really good. There's links to all of these things below if you ever want to get any of them. I think, yeah, there are. There might not be on this live because I don't know if the links go up when I go live. I took over all my potions. I took over my Tesla Violet Ray machine and I gave her a go on that. And then I was like, I need to do something. So I asked Ian if he'd mind doing a healing session for her, and he did. And I sat there and witnessed it, and it was extraordinary because it just brought up all this. I could see, you could feel it. It was like he's such an incredible healer. By the way, the first live healing session with Ian is at 8 p.m. UK time tonight. I'll be there. I won't be able to be on all the sessions because I'm doing a lot of traveling soon, but I'm going to be there tonight. And Ian's going to do personal 2 minutes on everybody that's there, and we've limited it to 50 people per session. But 2 minutes is all you need with this guy. He's a real magician. Anyway, he did this healing session on my mum, and it was so profound. My dad, my auntie, my uncle, who died 6 months ago, because my mum comes from a family of 11 kids, and she's lost 4 of her sisters and 1 of her brothers. And Ian said, there's something here 6 months ago or whatever. My mum just went, oh, no, I don't remember. I said, your brother died 6 months ago, Mum. Oh, yeah. Because we do that, don't we? We just block these things. And it's and she really has suppressed all the emotion. And Ian said, so look, all this, there's nothing wrong with you physically, Judy, it's suppressed emotion. And he released it, and as he was releasing it, he got me to call in. He said that my dad was not in this universe, neither was my auntie, neither was my uncle, and he got me to call them in. He said they were in universe 368. So I called them in, and then they appeared, and then I could see them around her, and it was like we had this huge, oh God, I'm getting emotional. This huge family group hug, and it was such a profound experience, and her pain disappeared. I mean, it didn't 100% disappear, but she could tell it had drastically reduced, and she was shaking like this, and we were all crying, and we all had a big hug. So that's the reason why I didn't do a live with my mum this week, even though I wanted to, because it was too much, really. But Ian is coming on the Morocco Retreat, by the way, which is the 10th. I think it's the 10th to the 19th of November, and it's going to be in the Sahara. And there's a link below if you want to be on the email list for that. It's not a cheap event. It's not a cheap thing to put on, because it involves a lot of logistics, transportation, hotels, food, staff. It's a luxury camp in the Sahara Desert, which actually I'm really excited about. Yeah, so that's why I didn't do a live with my mum this week, and I didn't do any others because I was really busy this week. I had a lot of things to do, and it just needed to get them done. And it was really about, time for my twin boys to spend with their granny, me to get a few things done that I needed to get done. And I last night I was really disappointed, I think is the word, to see the continuation of people I don't like using the word truth movement, but let's just use that for shorthand. Okay, so people in the truth movement fighting with each other, accusing each other of doing things. I mean, I've suffered from it myself. I don't know how many months ago, but I got thousands of people were told that I'd gone to the dark side, or I'd been infiltrated by the dark. I'm like, what is this? An episode of fucking Scooby-Doo? It's ridiculous. It's also slander. If you go accusing people of things, it's slander. That's not cool. And it gets really difficult because a lot of these people throw mud at each other. I know, and I like them all. And I've got nothing. I'm not going to mention any names, but my plea to everybody who's on the right side, right? Because they're all on the right side. I mean, we are going up against 1 million pedivores, interdimensional, nasty, evil bastards, right? 22,000 children every day for at least the last 70 years. That's the enemy. So the energy at the moment is creating divisiveness. It's creating, it's bringing things to the surface, jealousy, insecurities, paranoia, all of these things. Please remember who the enemy is, because it just damages all of the work that everybody's trying to do. If people are infighting, it damages everything. Just, if you don't like me, don't watch me. Go somewhere else. If you don't like somebody, or why does it bother you? I just don't understand why it bothers people so much. Just ignore them. Can't people just ignore people? I'm just going to look at the comments here. Very nice of you all to be here. I thought it's time for a chat in the car. Time for a chat in the car. I did go down to the lake, but I've only got 3G there, so I had to come up on a hill here. Hello. I was going to say a couple of things, actually. I got this, came home to this lovely card here from Maeve in West Cornwall, from the People's Health Alliance. And Maeve sent me a bag of, can you see these? bag of wristbands. Let's have a look. I won't say it out loud. I don't know if you can read that. PHA, dooby-dooby-doo. I'm not saying those words. And I absolutely agree with that. So I've got a bag of these. If you're in Ireland and you want one, come and get one off me. Thank you for that, Maeve. There's a alleged tomb down the road from here called Maeve's Tit. That's what the locals call it, because it looks like a nipple on top of a mountain, and it's where Queen Maeve is supposed to be buried. Although I don't believe any of the descriptions of things around here as burial grounds. I think there's something entirely else. I also got this incredible, lovely, beautiful letter from Mary Vargo in Wyoming, and she sent me this gorgeous Tree of Life and Bluebirds of Happiness card. So thank you, Mary, for that, and your husband Gregory. Really appreciate that. She sent that. She said this represents me and Ian Welch, but I can't see any bold Englishman there, so it must just be me. Only joking, Ian. Now, oh yeah, another thing. I got accused. I've been accused of this before. I just want to straighten this out. So I got accused of running another YouTube channel, which hides the person's face and some guy, English guy, talking. And apparently the channel's not there anymore. But there's an English guy talking, and he's kind of slagging people off, truthers off, or discussing fighting between. I don't do that. You know, I've tried to explain hundreds of times. I'm a full-time dad of 5 kids. I have a business. You know, I'm a part-time podcaster. And the last thing I would do is slag anybody off. It's just not in my nature. I just don't do it. And I got accused of that again this week. And I couldn't, and they wouldn't believe me. I said, that's not me. Why would I do that? I would never do that. It's the same in the Telegram. People, you know, somebody's pretending to be me and sending messages to me. It's not me. If you're getting messages from the Mark Outward Show, it isn't me. Just delete them and report them. You know, seriously. Hello, Gian Jingle here in NC. Love your shows. Thank you very much. Deborah Smith. Yes, my spirits are high, Deborah. I'm very, very high. My voice is coming back in the lower octaves, so it might sound a little bit deep, but I am definitely in high spirits. I'm very, very excited about the future. I mean, that healing with my mum yesterday actually released loads of trauma. I also I climbed up Glastonbury Tor this week as well, which was really nice. Very, very interesting, Glastonbury. A lot of infiltration there spiritually, but a lot of good people there as well. And a very, very powerful place. That's the place where I did a peyote ceremony in a wigwam on a ley line near the Tor about 10 years ago with a Mexican chief called Quauti. And that's when I first realized we can control the clouds with our minds, because we have these powers. Peyote kind of unlocks, like ayahuasca, it kind of takes you into different dimensions and allows you to unlock abilities. And I don't recommend it for everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm not. It's down to you. The thing is with plant medicines is you have to wait for them to call you. They call you when they're ready for you, or when you're ready for them, because they know more than you know. That's the amazing thing about them. You know, and it's like, if you don't realize this is the Matrix, you know, I was behind I posted on Telegram yesterday. I was just in a traffic jam and there was a lorry in front of me. And then I went, oh, hang on, 17. It had 3 17s on it. And then on the way in this morning, I drove down from Belfast, 3-hour drive this morning, and I was behind a tractor, number 17. And then I turned on my phone earlier, having a coffee, 144. It's just everywhere. And it's wonderful. I did make some notes here. Yeah, another thing I got, I made a note of this. I got an email, I think about a week ago, from a student on my course, the Monetize What's Already in Your Head course, which is, you know, something I spent a lot of time and effort. I put 30, 40 hours worth of videos of training, 25 years of marketing experience, 30 years of business experience, put all of that together. The majority of people that do that course say it's a life-changing course. And during the process of making that course, I tried to make some other courses with some of the students who had some abilities. And I did make one. And then for some reason, it got shelved temporarily. And then things just went on and busyness carried on. And I remembered it the other week. And I was like, oh, God, I forgot to do that got to launch that course. So I emailed my assistant, Monique, and I said, what happened to that course? Did we get it finished? And she said, yeah. And then we got an email back from that person saying, after being asked, is it okay, we can put this course up now? And she went, no way, I'm not going to do anything with somebody I don't respect, meaning me. And I was like, for fuck's sake, what? We're in a fucking war. The untold story so far of doing this kind of work is all the crap that goes with it. And the crap that goes with it, apart from things like losing YouTube channels, losing social media platforms, losing PayPal accounts, losing all sorts of stuff. Apart from all that obvious stuff, there are the demonic attacks, the spiritual attacks, the psychic attacks. These things are fucking exhausting. And everybody who's had the balls to stand up, I have respect for everybody, even ones that I may look as if I've fallen out with. I have respect for everybody that stood up, especially in 2020. Everybody. And I don't know who's an infiltrator. I don't know who's MI6 or CIA or whatever. I have no idea. But, if the overall contribution is that they have helped people get through this period without doing silly things to themselves and cheered them up in some way, or given them knowledge and information that expands their perspective, even if they're bad guys, they've done something good, haven't they? And the other thing is, this is a spiritual war. I put up in, it's an unconventional spiritual war. This is like nothing we've ever been through. Well, not in our lifetimes, at least. And to get through this is a massive achievement, So I respect everybody that's done that, and I will not badmouth or fall out of anybody, but what I will say is, this is a time for unity. Please, please, please stop fighting amongst each other, especially online. It's one of the other things about doing this is that you become a public figure, and that's like an unintended consequence, yeah, or side effects of doing this kind of thing. And it is weird, I met an amazing nurse the other week at the talk in Ireland, and she came up to me, she was really nice. She said, I watch your channel, I like your channel. I was like, oh, thanks very much. And she was just really, really nice. And I was like, but it was still like I was a celebrity. And I was like, I'm just an ordinary bloke in a kitchen. I know I'm not in a kitchen now, but I started out that way. And we're all equal. All of us are equal. No, I'm not above anybody. Nobody's above me. We're just all doing our bit. And if this is the thing that I'm good at, this is the bit that I do. Other people are helping their neighbors out. Other people are making, things like this and giving them out. And other people are, just by your presence in this realm, on this earth, at this time, is enough. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's what you've got to realize. And so everything is exactly as it's meant to be. So even if it seems, don't get drawn in to the arguments. Don't get drawn in to negativity. Just focus on yourself and don't react. That's really the key. That's how you become the calm in the storm, is by learning not to react. Becoming non-codependent, right? In every relationship that you have, in all your friendships, in your sexual relationships, in your relationships with people online. There's too many people still being like, treating people like gurus. They're not gurus, right? Everybody's got a piece of the puzzle, including you, right? So you just take what resonates. That's all you've got to do, is take what resonates and just ignore the rest. Don't get involved in the drama. Don't go on about people's clothes. Don't go on about, she said this and he said that and you said this and I can't believe it. How evil is that? Don't. Stop it. If you've never seen the Bob Newhart sketch from the 70s where he's the psychiatrist, I put it up on Telegram the other week. Woman comes in and he's like going, okay, I'm, you've got 3 minutes. It's $5. I don't make change. And, what's your problem? And she goes, I just, I'm really scared about being buried in a box. He goes, okay, are you ready? She goes, yeah. And he goes, okay, That's 2 words. Stop it! Stop it! Okay, that'll be $3. It's one of the best sketches ever written. Probably wouldn't get on TV today because it's too probably upsets some people. So I'm trying to look through the is Eleanor Delancey. Hello, Eleanor. Oh, Lisa Woodty, good message, thank you. Just looking, I'm trying to scroll down whilst holding the phone up. I did call the ships in. It seems to be my party piece right now, and I don't mean that in a flippant way, but I was with a group of people, the ones I went up Glastonbury tour with, and it was Lucy Davis's group of beautiful people. It was an amazing. I met this amazing guy. Well, all of them were amazing, and if any of you are watching, it was lovely to meet you all. But I really connected with a guy called Ricky because Ricky and I had parallel lives going back to 1989 in Manchester, and we worked at the same places, we knew the same people, but we never actually met. And Ricky was saying, "Hey, Mark, you should write a book." And I was like, "Well, I did write a marketing book." He said, "No, you should write a book about your life." I said, "Why? Who wants to read about my life?" And they said, "Every time you tell a story, you've got all these other bits and you weave it all together." He said, "It'd be amazing." So he's talking me into writing a book, which I'm gonna call Adventures in a Cosmic Suit, because, and the reason it's not an ego thing at all. It's because what I've loved about this whole last 10 years for me, but last couple of years especially for most people, is that we're all kind of realizing that we've all been put here, we've all chosen to come here, we all have been put in with the positions we've been put in on purpose, and we've all done that in order to achieve an objective, because we're all part of this process, if you can call it that. I was going to say war, but it's a process, isn't it, really? And it's a wonderful process when you can detach yourself from it and observe yourself from the outside, and which is a little bit power of now. But he's that German fella's got it right in that respect. And if we could just do that, if we could get that detachment, learn how to be happy within ourselves, really, really key, so that you can sit in a room on your own and not feel lonely. I'm going to bring up my mum again. My mum says she's got the telly on. She had the telly on full volume. And I said, "Why are you putting this shit on, Mum?" And she goes, "Because I'm lonely." And I'm like, and it's going back to what I said at the start of this. It's because we haven't worked through these emotions. A lot of us, right, haven't worked through enough. We haven't done the work. So we blot it out. And we blot it out with noise and booze and cigarettes and drugs and whatever, but we've got to get to the point where we don't need any of those things, which is work. It's hard work, and nobody says it's easy. People moan about, "Oh, it's so difficult. I've had enough. It's too difficult." Well, you chose it. What looks like really harsh is actually, like, for your soul, it's like being in a candy store. It's like Christmas. It's like going to the theme park. It's like, yes, I love this misery. This is what I came here for. And it is, because without resistance there's no growth, right? Is that right? What do you guys think? I'm just going to do this window up because somebody's pulled in next to me and I don't want him to hear me saying this stuff. Anybody got any I'm going to read your comments while I'm Pat Waite says, "My daughter thinks we are crazy, so don't speak to us, nor does my son. But we'll be there if they need me." That's yeah, I mean, Pat, we're all going through that. I had a lovely lunch with my brother yesterday, and I love my brother dearly. I really do. And he's a total COVID head. And he said his wife had got it. And I was like, "Oh, really? What are the symptoms?" And he went, "Sniffly nose, a bit of a cough." And in my head, I'm going, "Yes, it's called a cold." And I dropped him off at his house. And he said, "Oh, she's isolating in the bedroom." And I was like, "Isolating in the bedroom?" I just looked out the window going, "Okay, yeah, that's great. Isolating, yeah." That makes sense for a cold. But I'm there for him when they do finally know what everything has been going on. We've got to be there for them. Compassion. I mean, it's all about compassion. You know, if you've been watching my channel regularly, you know I've been angry. I've been cross with people. I still see them go past in the car with their muzzle on. Like, what are you doing? Deep breath, Mark. Deep breath. Count to 10. Count to 10. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to chill and be there for them and be compassionate. They've been screwed. You know, the pressure on people has been immense, and some of us were lucky enough to wake up before. I mean, I've been waking up for 30 plus years. You know, definitely for the last 20, and it's you know, I've done tens of thousands, probably 100,000 plus hours of research, and you know, and I have this. The ships are incredibly grounding. I don't remember being on one. I haven't. Have I met? Yeah, I have. I do have flashbacks of greys operating in my head, and I do remember in 1994, there were about 6 of them around my feet. But then you think it's like a dream, you know. So there's been encounters my whole life, and all the demons. I've had lots and lots of encounters with demons that you kind of block out as well. And but the best thing about the last 2 years is that we've had to face these things and to talk about these things. I mean, I've said many times when I first went online talking about this stuff, I was terrified that I'd lose my business because I'd just gone online in front of 80,000 people talking about being demonically attacked. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? But then loads of people emailed me, say, yeah, happened to me. And that's what it's about. You know, and I urge you all to speak your truth. Don't be afraid of speaking your truth. Like, you know, I'm still seeing people self-censoring themselves because they're still afraid of what people will think about them. We've got to get past that. We have to really just speak our truth. Don't lie to anybody. Lying's got to be a thing of the past. It's got to become a thing of the past because we're all becoming more psychic. I don't know if you've noticed. I have. And my conscience is louder and louder and louder. I mean, yesterday I was in my mum's garden and I saw a bit of litter there. And a part of me was going, oh, she'll pick it up later. And I took a step past it and I was like, no, Mark, no. Go and pick it up. That's not what we do. We don't do that anymore, do we? We pick it up. Nigel Betts. Hello, Nigel. What do you think about Robert F. Kennedy's court win in Switzerland on the 23rd against the lobbyists? I think that's fantastic. We really are watching a movie, okay? And it's gonna have a lot of plot twists and stuff that's going to surprise a lot of us. But yeah, I mean, there's far more stuff coming out in mainstream that kind of talking about injuries and things like that, which is very interesting. I don't do dates, but I am very interested to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks, just because this is the recess for a lot of parliaments and they're coming back soon. In the UK, they've got those 2 WEF idiots on the front page of every paper, whose names I can't remember. I just refuse to commit their names to memory because they're such tosspots. My son said this morning, he said, I would kill to live in a hobbit house. I said, kill? That's a bit of a strong term, isn't it? Who exactly would you kill? And he turned around and he said, John Boris. I went, who the fuck's John Boris? And then my other son said, he means Boris Johnson. I said, well, yeah, maybe. I said, but I think he's already dead. Oh, All right, I'm just looking at the comments. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these on here. 464 people. Oh my God. That's a little bit scary. Vicky Jo Ames started cancelling people who constantly put down others. Yeah. Don't put anybody down. Unless it's John Boris. We have to learn to work together and come together. God won't like your views, Mark. Well, yeah. Where we go, right? What does that mean? You've got to think about what that means. Well, you don't have to do anything, I say. And you don't have to do anything anybody says. You are the guru, not me, nobody else, right? You just take what resonates. If you like listening to it, listen. If you don't, just switch it off. Unsubscribe. It doesn't matter. None of us who are really in this for the right reasons give a shit about subscribers, because I can't speak, subscription numbers or anything else, right? Yes, there are links below my video that if you click on them and you buy stuff, I will be paid a commission. That keeps this content for free, but you don't have to do any of it. Yes, I've got a course that helps you find your voice and helps you get out there and helps you market yourself. But, you know, and you can pay me if you've got the money, but if you haven't, it's free, right? This is 5D, baby. This is the way forward. Yes. Oh, by the way, the Manchester event on the 6th of November is nearly sold out. I can't believe it. I think 360 tickets have been sold, which means there's like 40 left, which is in a week. That's unbelievable. I can't wait to do that event. I cannot wait to do that event. And I was talking to Ian about it yesterday, and we've got some special things, spiritual things up our sleeve up that day. I think it's going to be an extraordinary day. It's not an intel day. It's a healing day. It's a day of laughter, music, healing, and coming together. And the people, if you're coming to that event, you're going to make friends for life at that event. I know it. You know, I've done loads of events over the years. I've held events. I've held seminars, mainly with business. You know, I was business lecturer, marketing lecturer, held seminars all over the place, and traveled the world going to seminars. I mean, just before this all happened, I was the keynote speaker at a conference for 600 barristers in Mauritius, in this big colonial hotel. Surreal. My life is surreal. Maybe I should write that book. What do you think? At one point, I was the unofficial crypto advisor to the government of Mauritius. Stuff like that is all true. It comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, is that true? Did that really happen to you, Mark? Yes, it did. Really? Yes, it did. But yeah, the Manchester event's going to be mind-blowing. Oh, Abby's there. Hello, Abby. Abby Wynn, my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Gina Maria, hello. The wonderful main thing I have in my life is my children. Don't completely agree 100%, but they're very supportive and they're getting it. Hallelujah. Yeah, you know, the kids, it's very hard with the kids, because I actually met a woman on the boat this morning. She came over to me. Are you Mark from blah, blah, blah? And I went, yeah. And I said, I recognize you. And she said, yeah, well, we met at this school. There's a school not far from here, which is like, it's a democratic school. And democratic school is kind of like, it's the best thing around here, closest to a school that's unschooled, if you see what I mean. It's like an unschooling school where the kids are in charge. And there's no, you know, you turn up when you want, they leave when they want, they choose what they want to do. It's really, really good, but it's just too far away. Logistically, it's just not possible. But I took my son there, and this is the woman that showed me around, and we had a really good chat. And, you know, she's awake, obviously, and certainly understands that the indoctrination camps have to go. They do have to go, and these people are doing something about it. And the demand for this school has gone through the roof. So, you know, I mean, I'm dreading school starting again next week, because I can't really do much about it with my kids. As you probably know, my eldest decided to leave halfway through last year, because I said to him, because he was telling me what they were teaching him every day as I was picking him up, and I said, well, that's lies, that's bollocks. You know, he was doing science and economics, which I studied for 5 years. And I said, that's all bollocks. And didn't matter what class he was in, whether, you know, economics or physics or whatever, they would spend 20 minutes talking about Trump in school. I mean, the teachers are completely fucked. Not all of you. If you're a teacher and you're watching this in your wake, I know that not all of you are, but whew. Anyway, it was wonderful bumping into her. And we were talking about it, and I said, no, it's just logistically not possible to take my son to this school. But I said, it's a good thing for him, because he's got me as a dad telling him the way things really are. And then he's going in and he's witnessing the system for himself. as a parent, as an awake parent, I am obviously worried that he's going to get indoctrinated and affected by this, because that's certainly happened in at least one of my kids' cases to some degree. But it's also part of their journey, right? As long as they're not getting that in them, you know, I'm not too happy about drag queen fucking story time. But in fact, if that does happen at the schools around here, the parents will close that down in no time. And maybe that's what it takes. Maybe that's why that's happening. Yeah, and and she agreed. She said, yeah, that's, I said, look, I was in the military 34 years ago. And what I saw there was essential for my journey. Then I went and worked. I was a journalist at the Daily Telegraph for a bit. And what I saw there was essential for my journey. And then I worked in TV and theatre. In fact, I was thinking about this morning. Working in TV and theatre has been such good preparation for all this bitching and infighting that's going on, because that's all that happens in theatre, bitching and infighting. And you have to survive that. And then I was in business for years. And when I was in business, I had an online hate campaign against me about 12, 13, 14 years ago, which nearly broke me. It was hell. But now I know why I went through it. I mean, it was all lies, 100% lies. And there's still people that I really looked up to, I thought were colleagues, who won't speak to me because of the lies told by this person. And, I tried going back to them a couple of times saying, look, all that was lies. I really respect you. You respected me. What happened? Why can't you? No, you're a bastard. And that will happen. And this is what I mean about letting go. We've got to let go of everything. I said this at the talk in Ireland on Saturday last week. We have to let go of everything. And there was people at that talk, a lot of them I respect enormously. One of them in particular was very much coming from a place of fear, talking about they're gonna cut off the energy, they're gonna cut off the food supplies, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. And I was like, do you know what? This guy does not understand manifesting. He doesn't understand manifesting. He's coming from a place of fear. We have to really watch that. I mean, I'm pragmatic. I've got a generator. I've got a cupboard full of food, tins of food. I did all of that 2 years ago, but not out of fear, just out of pragmatism. I happen to know how to catch fish and how to lay snares for rabbits and how to light fires and collect firewood and how to build bivouac. I know how to do all of that stuff because I was in the military. So I'm lucky in that respect. But you can't do things out of a place of fear. It's also why because we're the manifestors, right? We are the creators. Anybody who subscribes to this channel knows this. We are the master creators, which is why they spend so much bloody time and effort putting us in this matrix, because they're feeding off us. Our DNA is spectacular. Go and listen to Alex Collier, what he says about our DNA. Alex is 100%, right? Our DNA we are genetic royalty. We have no idea of our true potential because we've had it all taken away from us. So, and that's all coming online, and that's being unlocked, right, at the pace that we can take it, I think, in my opinion. Feel free to contradict me. I'm not a guru, right? But this is my opinion. And that's why they go to so much effort to contain us, and because they just want our loosh and they want the blood of our children. And that's the enemy. Please remember who the enemy is. It's not your fellow truther. It's not your neighbor. Division. That's what all this energy is about. The AI, I think, it comes in and it preys on your emotions. I don't think the AI, I mean, feel free to contradict me again, but I don't think the AI can literally read your mind, but it can certainly read your emotions. And because of that, it knows where the buttons are. It presses those buttons, and those buttons will go into your insecure points, your doubts, your shame, your guilt. That's why they create shame, doubt, and guilt on purpose throughout every part of the process, from cradle to grave, through religion and TV and media and everything, in order to be able to, to manipulate the animals on the farm without the animals on the farm realizing they're being manipulated, which is what this is all about. It's called the Great Awakening. It's not the itsy bitsy awakening, is it? It's the Great Awakening, which is a gag I did last year. I know you probably heard that before. Thank you, Maggie May 561. What a strange surname, 561. Mrs. 561, your dinner's ready. Celine's hello, Celine. Lovely Celine. Agreeing with Abby. I've got to go back up to find out what Abby's saying. Oops, we feel free and we are free. Yes, we are, Abby. That's Abby's right. Abby's always right. Manifest. We manifest. What's your thoughts? I'm going to come back to my mum. She comes out with all these negative things all the time. It's like, Mum, stop it. Delete, delete, delete. Now say that again in a positive way. What? I didn't even know what I said. Exactly. Unconscious, right? We have to become conscious of what we're thinking and what comes out of our mouths. And that's why when you sign up to my email list, in the description, I send you a free 2-page PDF on how to manifest really powerfully. And it's based on somebody else's work. It's based on my work and somebody else's work on affirmations, where we switch the words, because I've been teaching affirmations for years in business and with kids in London. I did a 4-hour talk in London about 6 years ago to about 100 kids underneath this church. It was amazing. It was one of the best gigs I ever did. The kids were queuing up and taking pictures of me on TikTok and Snapchat and all that shit. And because all I taught them to do, well, firstly, I asked them, what is it you want out of life? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to do? And they would write down what they wanted to do. And they'd say, I want to be prime minister. I want to be a CEO. I want to be rich. And then I'd say, well, do you want the bad news? The bad news is none of that's going to happen. And they all go, what? What kind of a fucking teacher are you? And I'd say, right, here's the good news, though. I want you to rewrite it and say, I am, and then be really specific. So instead of saying, I want to live in a big house, say, I am living in this house on this road, and it cost me this much money. And then get a picture of that house and put it there. Be specific. And then they do that. And I say, now do you want to speed it up? We just flip it. We just say, why am I living in this house? Whatever the affirmation is. And the reason why you say, why am I, is because the universe has to answer a question. That's the way it works. We are not going towards things. We're not going towards things. They're coming towards us. Do I look rough? I think I do. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep, but do you know, it's the first time I've been on the ferry and I forgot to book the cabin, and I stood there at the reception and really tired after a long day, and I said, can I get my room keys, please? And she went, sorry, Mr. Atwood, you didn't book a cabin. I went, what the fuck? And I walked away. And I looked at the sofa in the lounge and I was like, okay, that's my bed for the night. That's why I look super tired today. Looking at the comments again, thank you very much everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. You know, just keep connected, get your bare feet on the grass. The affirmations from Ian are in the Telegram every single day. Do those, because the golden age timeline and your higher God self, universal higher God self frequency, all of these things are really, really important, I think, and it's making a difference. I mean, the feedback from Ian's healings and these affirmations has been amazing, but you got to keep doing it. Right, we have to work. This takes work. We are at war, so you have to keep working. And the way we work is that we're constantly putting light, because the darkest dark needs the brightest light, and that's you guys. That's all of us together, and spread it. You know, we need as many people as possible doing this stuff. And if you don't agree with the affirmations as written, write your own. Do your own. You know, this is about you being sovereign. It's all about being sovereign and standing in your power, finding your power, which is inside, and realizing, not taking anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Those days are gone. That's in the past, I think. Delete. No, Beth noise. Delete was the Cybermen. The Daleks are exterminate. The Cybermen are delete. I'm doing my best with a sore throat, but you get the point. If you're going to do Doctor Who references, get them right, because I directed the West End show about Doctor Who. And I've been in 3 Doctor Who books. And I met 7 of 11 doctors. So there. Okay. I'm getting a bit sweaty in this car. You love it when I do my Dalek voice. I think that was the Daleks. I normally do Davros. I like Davros. I'm not going to do it now because my throat's healing. Yeah, I'm off to Morocco very soon. I'm going to actually take a few days off, and I'm going to hit a beach. And the reason I'm telling you that is because a lot of people are worried about the events, the big events, the big scare events, blah, blah, blah. And I do think it's got to be soon, but I'm not putting any dates on it. But what I think is really important is that we carry on and live our lives. We have to carry on each day. The future doesn't exist yet, so don't worry about it. The past is gone, so forget about it and forgive yourself for everything after finding out all the shit you've got to work through. And just live now. Just live in the present moment. And just do your best. I'm just doing my best. Anybody out there who I've offended or pissed off or upset, I'm sorry. I did my best. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Just say that. And that's what we've got to do. I'm trying to read these comments on my sweaty fingered phone. Michelle Murphy, Mark, love you, brother. Oh, it's moved. I live in Evansville, Indiana, and I'm ecstatic to meet you in October. Yes, fantastic. Yes, because I am coming to America. Like Eddie Murphy, I'm coming to America. Wild horses wouldn't stop me. Customs might, but wild horses won't. But I don't think there's many wild horses in the TSA, right? Unless, yeah, maybe they've recruited so many people for the IRS, so all they've got is wild horses left. That'd be fine. I'll just take some biscuits or some apples. Yeah, I'm just reading your comments. You're all amazing. I'm 632 people. Oh my God. And I've talked for 46 minutes. How did that happen? I only just started a minute ago. Keep your spirits high. Keep your vibration high. Get out in nature. I know it's the same old thing, but just do it. Get out in nature, barefoot on the grass, meditate, affirmations, cuddle somebody you love, have a drink if you want one. Don't feel guilty about anything. Get healed. I've got tons of healers on my channel. Go to themarkatwoodshow.com and look through 300 videos. Find a healer that resonates with you. Get in touch. Get healing. There's some amazing people that have been on my show. Or go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. QHHT, go and get that's good. QHHT. I had that done a few weeks ago. I'm going to do a show about that soon. It's powerful stuff. There was another one I did recently. Oh God, I can't remember it. She's watching this. She's going to hate me. I can't remember what it is. K something. Oh, it was really. I've had loads of healings. I've needed them. Call the ships in at night. You know, I think most of us have the ability to do this. I think it's consciousness related. But go outside. If you've never heard me say this, I'll just explain, because this is what was gifted to me by a viewer over a year ago. Go outside, look at the stars, and see if one resonates with you, and then connect with it in your heart, and then telepathically in your mind, say hello. They're not above you or below you. They're equal. We're all equal. And then just ask it to move left and right to prove there's a connection. And that should happen. This happened to my friend the other night. It was like, oh my God, it works. I was looking up, going, well, it's working. It's working. It's moving. So I haven't got any high octaves, so it's all I have to keep it down here. It's moving. It's moving. And it worked for him and the other guy that was there. And then it moved up and down. And then we went out in the field, and then they came in, and we had this amazing light show. This huge ship came in, and it was bright, and then it was moving away, and then it kept disappearing, coming back. It's stunning. And when you connect with them, you'll truly know there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. Fear, the only thing to fear, well, who was it? Roosevelt's wife, I think. Well, Roosevelt, I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy, but probably a bad guy. But, you know, bad guys come out with wise words sometimes. Even Darth Vader said a few wise things. can't think of any wise words. I just wanted to do Darth Vader. Anyway, I'm getting tired now. I'm going to go for a kip. Take care. Love you all. To everybody that's ever sent me a nice email, a present, or anything like that, I really do appreciate it. And I haven't always had time to say thank you, but I really do appreciate all of you. I can't wait to do the Manchester event. I can't wait to do the Morocco retreat. I can't wait to tour the States. I'm a little bit scared. Not of, you know, left-wing nutters attacking us. I'm just a bit scared. I'm going to meet loads of people and probably not get a single second to myself. But I'm really, really looking forward to that. Look after yourselves. That was good. I like that. Where is my inhaler? Thanks for that. I can't see who wrote that now. The chat's going so quick. Anyway, take care, guys. Have a lovely day. I've got a few ideas coming up soon, but click all the links below. Have a look in the description below. Make sure you're on my email list, please, because this channel is literally on a knife edge. Okay, take it easy.